Good evening. We'll call the Hayward, Iowa City Council meeting to order on Wednesday, November the 18th, 2015 at 5:30 p.m. Present are all council other than Councilperson Monty Harvey. On staff are all present. There, as you will see on the agenda tonight, there are a number of resolutions that just need to be completed prior to the fiscal year end of December 31st. So we'll be addressing a lot of items tonight. And pardon me, we'll be passing a lot of that information through Gary for that. So, standard agenda items number 1A, approval of the October 28th, 2015 City Council meeting minutes. You've had those in your packet since Friday. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Larry. Questions or clarifications with the October 28th meeting minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of their approval, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 4-0. Next is approval of the November 18th, 2015 claims for payment. I'll start with Larry for questions, please. Okay. Travis, do you have questions?
None, thank you.
Tim? Payne, any questions on payment?
Yeah, how much longer are we going to keep renting storage units?
Renting storage units? Until legally we can get rid of the equipment, the stuff that's in them. So it's deals with the Brent.
Yeah, it's personal property.
Personal property.
Sheriff, it'll be
I think it's January, isn't it?
late January.
Okay.
Before we do anything with it. So.
Okay.
We're required to keep the stuff locked up and sealed. So.
Second.
There's been a motion by Larry, a second by Tim for approval of claims for payment for November 18th. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye. Abstain.
We have 3 ayes and 1 abstention. Next is open business from the community. Anyone wish to address the council tonight? Hearing none, we'll move to the mayor's report. Our congratulations to the West Sioux football team for an outstanding year. We wish the best of luck to the Akron Westfield in the championship game this weekend. I was fortunate as a mayor to be at the graduation ceremony for the 3 families participating in the Prosper Family Program. Pardon me. This is a great program for building strong families. My thanks to the families that participated and to the staff of the Extension Service and the facilitators for this program. Please take part in the many holiday activities that the Hawarden Chamber of Commerce has planned. Please enjoy the upcoming holidays and spend quality time with your family and your friends. And lastly, thanks to everyone who voted at the city election. Our congratulations to those that were winners on the Hawarden City Council and also on the Hawarden Regional Healthcare Hospital Board. We'll move to any council comments. Anything from council at this point?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up again that December 5th they're having the what do you call it?
Tour of Homes?
Tour of Homes, yeah. Anyway, and it's a fundraiser for the Historical Society. Please support it, buy a ticket.
Okay, thanks, Tim. Move to staff reports, and we'll start with Tom, please.
Our electric project continues, and we are at the point on the second half of the first phase that we are taking down the wires and the transformers. I don't know if you've noticed the guys with trailers full of wires and transformers, and the next few weeks we'll start taking down poles that will complete that end of the project. We set up a playground set on Saturday, and I cannot thank the volunteers that helped us set up the equipment or made food or took care of kids while the parents were working enough. It was just a great project, great turnout. We probably had 25 people there. The weather cooperated. The equipment looks really good. And we hope to have the surface material down late this week or next week, depending on the weather. We met with DGR today on the streetlight project for Highway 10 for the streetlight replacements, and they will have a presentation ready for the council at the January 13th meeting. That's all I have.
That's great when you get volunteers to step up and help with projects like that, isn't it?
It was a lot of fun. It really was, yeah.
It's a great enhancement for French Park there. So, thanks to all of those folks. Gary?
I think, again, along with what Tom said about the playground equipment, I think it's important that we thank the Sioux County Community Foundation, the Hawarden Community Foundation for the grant funds that paid for the bulk of that playground equipment. It's very difficult for the city to do those types of projects without that type of financial assistance, and we want to give our sincere thanks to both of those organizations for assisting us in funding that great project. Jody Livingston from MRES will be attending our next council meeting on December 9th to review our proposed new S1 transmission agreement. She's going to talk about how it impacts us, why it needs to be done, and what steps need to occur for council approval prior to March 1, 2016. There are steps that we have to proceed with, some resolutions that have to be signed, and then eventually an agreement executed prior to that. Jim and I and Tom sat in on a webinar, 2-hour webinar yesterday, I think it was, wasn't it? And it's just pretty lengthy and pretty detailed, and fortunately Jim took the time out of his schedule. I appreciate that to sit in with us. I also would like to say thank you to the ladies in our front office. They've been extremely busy in signing up new internet customers along with their daily activities, and I'd also like to thank Katie from Longlines, who's been coming up and assisting our staff, and will continue to do so in the next couple of weeks in getting everything in place to kick off the internet. And also a reminder that there's a chamber after 5 at Sportsman's tomorrow evening, sponsored by the Hayward Regional Healthcare. I believe that's all.
I bet that's helpful for the front office ladies, having another person.
Yeah, yeah. It's really helped, and
Technology and the
they've been
knowledge
just
to help process all of those things.
they've just been over the top busy. It's been
Good.
extreme for them. So they've been doing a great job. I really appreciate everything they do.
And we thank those that are signing up with their local provider here in the city.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Pickner, anything over there?
No.
Nicely said. Mike, do you have anything more than Jim?
Just a little bit. We've moved Robert Upton from part-time to full-time to fill the spot vacated by William Minor. So we'll be looking for somebody for a part-time position, but the full-time one was fairly easy to get filled up at this point. It kind of comes at very little expense or training.
And Billy's last day with us?
His last official day was the 15th. I think the last day he worked was like the 8th.
Okay, then he'll start with Lyon County.
He started there Monday.
Started there, right. Well, we wish Billy and his family all the best there. Thank him for his service to us. Move on to other agenda items unless council has questions for staff. I'll move to agenda number 3, hospital update, please.
Good evening. As you can imagine, we have water all over the place. That's been a challenge for us the last couple days. We have officially switched over to the electrical to the new power plant. So all the current structure is running off the new power plant underneath that concrete slab there that you see. We are slated to have the remainder of the utilities transferred by the end of November, and then hopefully start to destroy the remainder of the 1936 building and the ambulance garage first week in December and get that out. And then we cannot go any further with the footings because we have to drive over them if we put them in to get the remainder of the building out. So we need to get that remainder of the building out, and then we can start pouring the footing around for the plant. All the steel's here, and so we're just waiting and hoping for no snow. It sounds like we're going to get some on Friday, but I think the ground is fairly warm, so I don't think it's going to stick around very long. You never know what the weather's going to be like, so I'm hoping for some mild climates throughout the whole year. We'll see. But they can pour concrete in the wintertime. That's not a problem. You just heat the ground and continue to move forward. So I think in the middle of December, you'll start to see the remaining of the structure start to erect and the steel's here. And so it's mainly pouring concrete and setting steel and framing it in. And then as soon as we get it framed in, we can start to heat the inside and start the internal process. But it'll be mid-December before we see a lot of activity happening. And so, but it's wet out there. Also, in your resolution 30, 36, 37, and 38 are ultimately just resolutions to secure the interim financing for the rest of the building project, and so pretty standard procedures to get that done. So by the end of the calendar year, so we can get that tied up and secured. So, any other questions, or any questions whatsoever?
It dries up, will they get the street to the north of the clinic finished off?
They're trying to. They got most of the pipe laid. It's just getting that done and reconnected and resurfaced. So I know the corner there has been a challenge for traffic, and we hope to be that done a long time ago, but there's been some challenges along the way, and we've worked through those challenges, and I know it creates a congestion as people go by, and especially when people park in the parking lot to the church too, it really kind of narrows that way. It narrows that a lot, and it's something that we're working diligently to get fixed as soon as possible. But right now, there's a little lake there too, so.
Any questions of Jason from the council or staff? Okay. Thanks again for being with us. Appreciate the update. Other agenda items, we're going to start a number of resolutions. Every year we have to certify the TIF debt by December 1st, and a number of these resolutions will be processing that. Agenda item number 4 is Resolution 2015-31, obligating urban renewal. I'm not going to read the whole thing. And this is for Baumgars, which is annual approaching at $26,000, and this will be, correct, second to the last.
Yes,
To them.
that's correct. And keep in mind, this doesn't obligate yet. All this does is certify the debt so that you can obligate in June, but you still have to there will be an agenda item in June when the annual appropriation is due, and that's the intent of the annual appropriation, so it doesn't count against our constitutional debt limit. So this item will be on the agenda again in June to actually make the appropriation. This just allows us to certify debt against TIF so that we'll get the revenue to make the payment, if that makes sense.
Is there a motion for resolution number 2015-31?
So moved.
Moved by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tim. Further questions or clarifications for this resolution? Hearing none, a roll call vote for resolution 2015-31.
Kurth.
Aye.
Allen.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Bowder.
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, resolution 2015-31 passes. Agenda item number 5, resolution 2015-32, is the same process for tax increment finance obligations to Coilcraft. That amount will be then $7,528.20.
Yes, and again, you'll have to approve the annual appropriation in June. This is the third of 5 installments, if you remember correctly, that we did. We've talked about this a number of times that we chose to do TIF rebates rather than TIF abatement. It's beneficial to the city to do that. It's a 5-year graduated abatement, so this will be the third year, and so it really equates to 45% of his property tax. The first year was 75, and then it went down to 60, and this year it'll be 45. Next year 30, and the following year 15. So this is the third of 5 years. So
moved.
There's been a motion by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Larry. This is for resolution 2015-32, Questions or clarifications before we vote? A roll call vote then, please, for Resolution 2015-32.
Olson.
Aye.
Allen.
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
Bowder.
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2015-32 passes. Resolution 2015-33, agenda item number 6, authorizing internal tax increment from TIF A and A amendment for infrastructure debt. A little more clarification, please.
Again, the next three items are all, they're dealing with separate TIF areas, and I'll speak on this one. This TIF A and TIF A amendment is the southern industrial park area and the area down where Iowa Lamb or Pet Treats is at now. That's the area that falls into the TIF A and A amendment area. And this money is used to pay for a West 10th Street debt that was incurred when we paved that street. So,
Is there a motion for resolution number 2015-33?
So moved.
Moved by Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Travis. Any further questions? Roll call vote, please, for resolution number 2015-33.
Bowder.
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
Allen.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, resolution number 2015-33 passes. Agenda item number 7, 2015-34. This would be tax increment fund from TIF 1. TIF 1 is where?
And TIF 1 is the northern, the northern section of town, and it encapsulates 16th Street as well. So, again, TIF, this debt, we put all three of these resolutions and just said that it's for infrastructure debt, so it technically can be used anywhere, but this particular one will be used to pay the 16th Street debt financing that we incurred last year.
So moved.
Been a motion by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tim. Questions for this resolution? Hearing none, a roll call vote, please, for resolution 2015-34.
Allen.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Bowder.
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
4-0 roll call vote, resolution 2015-34 passes. One other agenda item, number 8, for resolution 2015-35, again for TIF D infrastructure debt. TIF D is where?
And TIF D is just the footprint of the plasticology property. We created a separate TIF district when plasticology went into that location. They had an annual appropriation for 5 years as well. That expired last year. We made the last payment to them. And so this year, we're certifying the debt to be used as infrastructure, against our infrastructure debt, and we'll use that money to pay down our street financing projects, both West 10th and or 16th Street. Excuse me.
Is there a motion for resolution 2015-35?
So moved.
Been moved by Larry. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tim. Any questions? Hearing none, I ask for a roll call vote, please, for resolution 2015-35.
Bowder.
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Allen.
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, resolution 2015-35 passes. Catch your breath and we'll move on. Kind of like a marathon or something, isn't it? As Jason mentioned, agenda item number 9, 10, and 11 are resolutions in regards to interim financing for the Hawarden Regional Hospital loans. Agenda item number 9 was 2015-36. This would be providing the insurance of or issuance of the hospital revolving loan not to exceed $3,333,254. Any further clarification the council needs with that from Jim or Gary?
Just make mention that last year in this volume, we did a $5 million anticipation note, and this is the remaining $3,333,254, which would be the remaining balance of the USDA loan. Again, it's an anticipation note, which means that you obligate the funds, and then they can draw on that money as needed. So it just frees up. It obligates the city, but they don't necessarily have to borrow the money right away. It's called an anticipatory note or anticipation note, which means that they will borrow at a point in the future. So, but this one is dealing with the USDA direct loan.
So moved.
Been a motion by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Payne. This is for Resolution 2015-36. Any further questions or clarifications needed from council? Roll call vote, please, for that resolution.
Kurth?
Aye.
Allen?
Aye.
Olson?
Aye.
Bowder?
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2015-36 passes. Agenda item number 10. Resolution 2015-37, again approving a loan agreement providing the issuance and securing the payment not to exceed $2,070,000 hospital revenue note. Further clarifications with that, please.
Again, just a reminder that this is an actual note that will go to People's Bank and any participating lenders, and it will be a direct loan to the hospital once it's obligated. The loan agreements will be signed in early December, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And but this just obligates the money, and the reason they're separated is that this money again comes from the People's Bank as the lead lender and the other participating lenders. So it has to be separated from the USDA funding.
So moved.
Been a motion by Travis. Is there a second to that resolution?
Second.
Seconded by Payne. Any further thoughts or questions? Roll call vote, please, for Resolution 2015-37.
Olson?
Aye.
Allen?
Aye.
Kurth?
Aye.
Bowder?
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2015-37 passes. Agenda item number 11, Resolution 2015-38, again authorizing and approving a loan agreement not to exceed $750,000. Further clarification with that, Gary?
And again, this is just another direct note from People's Bank and its participating lenders. I just might add that when totaling all of this financing, in addition to the financing that's already been incurred, it does fall under what you had approved at previous meetings. It falls well under the $11,670,000 that's been authorized. So there are no issues with that at this point. Again, the $750,000 is just another note that will be a direct loan from People's Bank and their participating lenders. So.
Is there a motion for that resolution?
So moved.
Moved by Travis. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Larry. Further questions? Roll call vote, please, for Resolution 2015-38.
Bowder?
Aye.
Kurth?
Aye.
Allen?
Aye.
Olson?
Aye.
4-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2015-38 passes. We're going to shift gears just a little bit at this point. We're going to have a public hearing on the proposal for the final disposition of public property, the Track 2 and the Hayward Industrial Park to Coilcraft. prior to opening that public hearing, we've had a number of conversations with Coilcraft in regards to their safety in transporting people and equipment between their current facility and their new facility at Staples. So this would be this hearing will be in regards to authorizing the final disposition of that real estate, and that'll move into a resolution. So at this point, I will open the public hearing on the proposal for the final disposition of public property, which is Track 2 in the Hayward Industrial Park, to Coilcraft. Does anyone wish to make comments in the public hearing? Have we received any comments from?
There have been no written or oral comments to the city.
Okay. I'd like to certainly thank Coilcraft in this public hearing for all they do for our community, and I think this is for them a good safety structure, and they promote the community and do well, and they've been very community-minded. So I'd like to make that notation in the public hearing. Any other comments from council in the public hearing? We'll close the public hearing, and then that would go to resolution number 2015-39, authorizing the final disposition of real estate. That would be in the amount of 35 cents a square foot, which would be $18,450. Is that correct?
Yep. So moved.
There's been a motion by Tim. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Travis. Further clarifications or questions for this resolution?
Just so everyone knows, we're talking about the 1.23 acre parcel, if there's any questions out there, but.
Hearing no other comments, we'll call for a roll call vote for resolution number 2015-39.
Allen?
Aye.
Olson?
Aye.
Bowder?
Aye.
Kurth?
Aye.
On a 4-0 roll call vote, resolution number 2015-39 passes. Agenda item number 13, this will be a public hearing on the proposal for the final disposition of public property, Track 21 in the Hayward Industrial Park, to the Hawarden Chamber and Economic Development, Inc. Here, do you want to kind of give an overview of how we've gotten to this point with this, please?
Hayward Chamber and Economic Development has received an offer to purchase on the spec building. That offer is contingent upon including the lot directly south of the spec building that currently is in city ownership. The chamber would love to sell the building, obviously, and needs that property to do so, and is asking the city to sell that property to them for the 35 cents a square foot, just as was done with Coilcraft. Understanding that they're also going to be asking in the next resolution for the city to provide an economic development grant to pay for to offset that cost. So.
Okay. At this point, we will open the public hearing on the proposal for the final disposition of the public property, track number 21 in the Hayward Industrial Park to the Hawarden Chamber and Economic Development, Inc. Does anyone wish to address the council during the public hearing? Have you heard any comments?
No written or oral comments.
I've been in this seat for quite a while, and when we first started the spec building, it was done with all good intentions, and it's just taken us a little longer than we'd hoped to get that process completed. And my thanks during the public hearing would go to the Economic Development Committee for taking that on and the transition from the funding and getting it to this point, and continuing to be the people that were out there trying to promote and getting that sold. So I'd like to make that point as from my point of view. Any council members have any public hearing comments?
Yeah, I'd like to ask Mr. Pickner, since we took over payment of that building, do they need authorization to sell the building?
Do they need authorization from us to sell it? Not, the only thing we did was we made it contingent that the proceeds are gonna go to pay us back, so that the money comes back to us. But as far as, they don't need our authorization, but they probably wouldn't be able to clear all the costs without us and sell it. So if you guys would choose not to give them the grant or not to transfer this property to them, they wouldn't be able to go through with the sale. Does that answer your question or not?
Yeah, that
They own
that
it,
question,
they can
yes.
sell it, but as a practical matter, without the council doing this, it won't be sold.
But it is important to remember that the 300,000 goes back into that revolving fund.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're making the money. It's going to be in the city will be able to loan out that money again. So it's a great thing that we got going here.
Can you
Yeah.
guarantee that's what the offer is?
Well, I'm just saying the 300,000 that we spent on it. for
Since the last meeting,
The USDA gave us that money, so
I've
it's,
heard a lot less of an offer for that building from the horse's mouth.
I haven't talking.
Well, I
But-
know, I drafted a purchase agreement. I mean, the price had been set, but they didn't have a formal purchase agreement. I don't know if that's been signed yet.
No.
Okay. But there's a purchase agreement. I mean, the purchase price is the same price as it's always been stated to me, so.
Because I don't see how we can morally or ethically give this property away when we just sold full price to Coilcraft. I don't see how that's right in any way, shape, or form, how you look at it.
Well, I guess we're not giving it away. Legally, we can't give it away, but
But is there any transfer of funds?
we
We're
are
saying they're
allowed.
buying it from us, and then we return, make a grant for them.
We are allowed to make an economic grant to them and then have them purchase it. We are allowed to do that. We went through that with bond counsel several years ago, and that's lawful if the council makes the findings that are in the resolution. So even though you're doing it a different way, you're doing it a way that's legal.
Well, I'm not saying it's illegal by any means. I'm just saying, no matter how you look at it, they're paying $21,000 for it, and then we in turn give them a grant for $21,000 so they can purchase it.
That's
So there's
correct.
$0. So essentially, we're giving the property away.
And that's correct, for the purpose of allowing them to be able to sell that building. I mean, we are.
And I think we really did a disservice to Coilcraft then by going full price when they've been here how long with how many employees? That's shame on
Coilcraft
us.
approached us when they were very happy with that, so, you know, I mean, as far as I know, they're happy with it.
Any other comments during the public hearing for the proposal of the final disposition of Tract 21? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing, which leads us to resolution number 2015-40, authorizing the final disposition of that real estate.
So moved.
There's been a motion by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tim. Okay. Further questions or clarifications? Hearing none, a roll call vote, please, for resolution 2015-40.
Bowder,
Aye.
Kurth,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Allen,
No.
On a 3-to-1 roll call vote, resolution number 2015-40 passes. As Gary mentioned, that leads us to agenda item number 14. This would be a resolution number 2015-41, providing an economic development grant in the amount of $21,600 to the Hawarden Chamber and Economic Development for the purchase of Tract 21 in the Hayward Industrial Park.
So moved.
Been a motion by Travis. Is there a second? to that?
Second.
Seconded by Larry. Further questions or clarifications? Hearing none, a roll call vote, please, for resolution 2015-41.
Kurth,
Aye.
Allen,
No.
Olson,
Aye.
Bowder,
Aye.
On a 3-to-1 roll call vote, resolution Number 2015-41 passes. Not often do we have to flip our page and go to agenda items on the backside, but we are today with end-of-year types of things. Agenda item number 15 would be the approval of the fiscal year annual urban renewal report. This report summarizes the uses of the TIF within our community, the revenue generated in the various TIF districts, and the outstanding debt certified and cash balance in our TIF fund. Do you want to give any more overview than that?
That's pretty good without getting into too much depth because it's pretty complicated. If you have specific questions, I'd be glad to answer them for you, but it really summarizes the use of TIF funds for a long period of time. We have to file that on an annual basis, showing the state that we're using TIF revenue for what it was intended to be used for. And what our urban, again, there's an urban renewal plan and then there's TIF. The urban renewal plan states what money that's generated in the TIF areas can be used for. And so this TIF report has to coincide with what our urban renewal plan says that we can use the money for. And so we have to file it on an annual basis with the state to make sure that it does just that. So very similar to the road use tax fund report that we have, the street report that we have to file. This does virtually the same thing. So
Pity the person on the other end that gets all these from every city, so to speak.
you swear to God they never look at them, but they call you about them. So they do look at them. But
Okay. Is there a motion from the council for the approval of the fiscal year 2015 annual urban renewal report?
So moved.
Moved by Payne. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Travis. We'll let Tom rest. I'll just call for a voice vote for the approval of the fiscal year annual urban renewal report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Tom, that passes 4-0. We need to appoint a representative and alternate to the Northwest Iowa Area Solid Waste Agency. Do you want to give an overview to the council what that appointment would be for?
well, we can both try. Northwest Iowa Solid Waste Agency is obviously the landfill, and we have to have a representative and an alternate. They need to have those on file. And Larry has graciously been that for a number of years. And with Larry choosing not to run for council this year, we need to have someone new in that position. And so we're hopeful that someone would be willing to do that. The other piece of it is, I doubt that Larry's ever been to a meeting, and all the time he's been on it. So they happen to be on the same nights as we have city council meetings. They are, and so it's very difficult to ever get to any of the landfill meetings. But
It's usually during budget time too, so it makes it hard to attend.
it's during budget time, and so
So do you get to go ever?
It's been about 5 years. I get the minutes.
Should we have somebody that doesn't have to come here? Would that make sense or not? It's not
Probably
worth
not.
going.
it's really not a big deal.
Volunteers?
Sure. I nominate Tim.
Tim?
Seem like
Tim
he'd
is
be
our
good with solid
representative.
waste.
I love jobs that I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, it's an
That's
easy
my
one.
kind of job. I'll do it,
It's
yes.
a pretty easy one, so
Pay scale's low,
To
too.
be the alternate of something that neither of us go.
that's even easier. Yeah.
Alternate, anyone want to do that? Let's make Tom the alternate.
What's that?
Do we make Tom the alternate? Want council?
Oh, I thought I got to be the alternate.
We can
Tom's the main guy.
we can let Tom be the
Okay,
primary
Tim's the
and
alternate?
Tim the
Yep.
alternate. Yeah.
I got my Toms and Tims switched around. Sorry to dethrone you, but we'll put you back in again, so.
Thank you.
The appointment representative will be Tom, and the alternate to Northwest Iowa Solid Waste Agency will be Tim. All in favor of that appointment, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you for your willingness. we're there. We're at agenda item number 17. This would be a request from Sportsman's for liquor license transfer to Hayward Community Center on December 12th, 2015. As per usual, if it's on our agenda, everything is, paperwork is all completed and their licenses are all within reason. Is there a motion for that consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Larry. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Payne. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. Just so everyone knows, our next upcoming city council meeting will be December the 7th. That is our regular meeting, and that will be the only meeting for
Ninth.
Ninth, I
December the
think it is.
9th, excuse me. That'll be the only meeting in December, so. Thank you for your attendance. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Payne. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Travis. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, thanks again for your work.